Hey guys, so today I'm going to be sharing with you my applications for Master of Architecture, which I applied for a few universities last year, including UCL, NUS, Tsinghua, and a few more others. So basically, the majority of these university applications required around four things. So it was like a statement of why you wanted to apply for that university, a cover letter basically, a portfolio which you needed to showcase all your previous projects, two referee reports from your teachers. So your teachers should write you a letter recommending you into that university and why you would be suited for that university. And some would require an interview, which I did for NUS. Yeah, I did an interview for that one. So basically, for your cover letter or your statement on why you should be suited for that university, you can write about your ideologies and philosophies on architecture and your approach on architecture and how you're like different from the rest of the applicants. You can also write about your work experiences if you had any prior to your application. Work experience is pretty important, I feel like, and they would definitely consider that in your application. So for my portfolio, which I'll have up here, I did a very simple title page, as you can see, with like a logo. Contents page pretty simple, and then I have one page of my starting with my projects. I have a little description on the right hand side talking about the project, and I have a isometric on the left. So the next few pages shows the site context and the ideas behind the project and the mapping exercises, with also the next one's showing the plans of the project. And then I have some sections, perspective sections, as you can see, and some model pictures, some renders which I did. I actually didn't do as much renders during my university project. I actually went through and did extra renders and kind of fixed up all of my projects during the year that I worked. So I worked a year after graduating from Bachelor's of University of Sydney. So during that year I was working, I actually amended a few of my projects to just make sure that it's like portfolio worthy. Here's my second project of my swimming pool. Same kind of starting title page with an isometric drawing on the left and a description on the right. And then I have some plans and some construction detail drawings. Next up, I have the same perspective sections with a similar style, I guess, as my previous projects. And then I have some site relevant relationship diagrams with some structural diagrams as well. And then a few renders, which again I did during my working gap year that I took. Here is a project that I did not for university, but it was more like another project I did during my gap year working, just to fill up my portfolio and make it a bit more better, I guess. So I did this like little oasis. These are the plan and mappings of that project, which I did. Here are some perspective sections for that project. And here are some renders that I did for that project. So they all have this similar style throughout my projects, from my portfolio, like a similar 6 renders for each project, kind of keeping it consistent. And some technology construction diagrams. Here is a project I did for university. It was a terrace house renovation, and that just shows the plans. And here are some more in-depth site analysis. This project only consisted of 2 pages because it didn't require renders, and I don't think that it was necessary to create a render for a terrace house, so that's that. And the following 2 projects are actually from my work. So this is a townhouse renovation which I did for my work. So that's plan and sections and a few digital renders, and I incorporated real photos of the actual building after it was built. So, yep, a few photos. And here are some bathroom construction detail drawings for that townhouse. And the last project I just incorporated was also from work. It was kind of just 2 renders and a plan talking about how it was like a VR kind of room, but they probably changed it by now because it's too expensive to have so much LED screens. So yeah, so that's just my project. So some universities will require you to have at least like 10 to 30% of work projects in your portfolio, just to show that you've been at in the workforce and all that. So you need to really search if your university requires you to incorporate some work projects in your portfolio. So this one was actually for my UCL application because they did require work projects in it. So what I did for the referee report that your tutors should write and send to the university, I kind of wrote them a template of what just to like, so that it's not a hassle for them. So I kind of just wrote a template and they can just choose to use it or not, and they can like edit and change it around if they wanted to. But I just wrote a template and sent it to my tutors and kind of just asked if they could like amend it and like change it up. For my interview, they were a bit late, so I actually had to wait with my Skype open for half an hour before they actually called me. So they will be late, so then you have to prepare for that in advance. So what they asked me were pretty general and quite rushed because since they were late already. So they asked me why I chose that university, what made me choose it. They talked about if I had working experience, so then I talked a bit about my working experience and how I worked in Sydney for 1 year before applying for masters. I also talked about my portfolio. So I went through my portfolio in front of them again and just talked that out and what inspires me in architecture and all that. Additional questions that you could prepare for, I actually wrote down about like 10 questions in advance on what they could possibly ask me, so I just felt a bit prepared and I could be ready to like answer any questions they throw at me. So I prepared like what's my favorite architect, where do I see myself in the future, why I chose that university and all that. So that's basically it for my experience of my Masters of Architecture application. If you guys have any questions you want to ask me, please leave a comment down below. Follow me on Instagram, harrylam.pdf, and my architecture Instagram is harrylam.jpg. So yeah, follow me on those, and thanks for watching, guys.